In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to update a particular slideshow. I'm already logged in into floorboxes.com to make some edits, and we're going to use this website in our tutorial for an example. I clicked on website, or you can also hover over website and click web pages to get your list of web pages within your site. Once you're logged in, I also want you to click on a new browser tab right here. Most modern browsers should allow you to do this. And I want you to also open up your live website. I like to have both my live website open and the back end open, so when I make updates I can verify by viewing the live website and hitting refresh to make sure my updates are the way I want them. Let me show you what the slideshow looks like. We're going to use this page because it has this slideshow. And when you click on a small thumbnail, it blows up to a larger version in a very slick way. And you can scroll through that. That's true for any of these small thumbnails. Now, as a website owner who's going to update this slideshow, you don't need to worry about the magic code that makes this work. All you need to worry about is adding a new small picture, linking that to the larger version, adding the caption, and any other text like linked downloadable files. And also how to add another row if you need extra space. Let's go back to here and let's go ahead and edit this page that we're just on the live website. Now what I want you to do is click here, web page details, and change the template to the template that your web designer specifies. In this case, we have a special template that's used for editing a web page with an in-context edit. We named it very clearly in-context editing template for slideshow editing. So in this case, we're going to choose this one and confirm that we do want to make that switch for the template, and click Save to save that. And we get that verification bulletin right here. The reason why we want to switch templates to edit within in-context editing is because the code that makes this work doesn't behave well and doesn't work when we're in context editing. Well, in other words, let me rephrase that. We can't edit the slideshow when we have this code that makes this slideshow work. This code doesn't work well with in-context editing. So basically what we created is a template that strips away the code that makes the slideshow work. So we're going to switch to this template, save it, and then use in-context editing. We can go there now. And then we're going to use this template only temporarily when we're making updates. Then when we're done with our updates, we're going to switch back to the main template. Let's go ahead and start. Oh, a quick little side note. If you wanted to create a brand new web page and not just update an existing web page, I recommend that you copy an existing web page that has the slideshow on it. That way it transfers over the special slideshow code. Don't start from scratch to create a new page if you want the slideshow. Ask your web designer if you have any questions how to do that. So here we have a blank cell. Let's go ahead and get started. You click into it, you get this orange border to indicate you're working within this cell. But these buttons are not enabled yet. They're kind of dimmed. You see they're not available. What you need to do if that's the case, click once on the spacebar. As you can see now they're available. But once they're lightened up and they're ready to use, go ahead and click backspace a few times and delete to get rid of any extra code here. And now we're ready to insert our small thumbnail. Click right here. This is your image button. And we're going to choose My Site. This is going to take you to your file manager. because you should have already uploaded your images into your file manager before you even started this. Your subfolders may be called different. If this isn't your website, that's fine. And let's go ahead and choose this file. The small version, we gave it a -sml for small. In the larger version that we're going to link to, we give it a -lrg. This is the naming convention that helps us track down a particular file. So we'll go ahead and click that and then click Insert. And there it is. Now you can tell that this image is selected because it has these little points around the border. If it wasn't selected, I'm just going to click out of it, you wouldn't have that. All you have to do to select it is click on it again. You do want it selected when you link it to the larger version, so make sure you have those dots to indicate that it is selected. And click this button, which is your link manager, and we're going to link it to a document from my site. Again, this will take you to your file manager, and we'll go ahead and track down the larger version, -lrg, and click Insert. Now let's go ahead and work on the caption. We'll call this new caption. Okay. Hit return or enter on your keyboard, and let's also create the text for the downloadable files. Hit enter again or return on your keyboard, and we'll do that for the PDF. Now what we want to make sure, this is important too, is on this particular website all the captions are a header 3, an H3. Each line of a downloadable file text line, this is a paragraph, that's a paragraph, and that's a H3. We want to make sure we have that for each. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. You can highlight the text by clicking to the left, holding down your left mouse button, and dragging to the right. Or alternatively, you can just double click. Once it's highlighted, click the T button. That's for your text, gives you some text options. But right here is where we're interested in. Click more and make this a heading 3. As you can see now, it's bolded and it's the same format as the other captions. And let's go ahead and highlight this line of text. And as I mentioned before, we want to make that a paragraph. And as well, we want to do this line. We want to make that a paragraph. Okay. Now, there's an issue with in-context editing. You can't use the file manager with an in-context editing to locate the CAD file. It just doesn't show up. In other words, it shows up. It shows your PDFs in your file manager, but for some reason, certain file formats like CADs and zip files and other ones, they just don't appear. So we have to use the other editor to link to the CAD file. But for now, we can link to the PDF file. Highlight the text in PDF, click the link button, and we're going to link it again to a document from my site. But instead of linking it to an image like we did with our images, I created another folder called Docs for Documents. As you can see, all we have are PDFs, and we have one Word document here. But our DWG, aka or CAD files, are not showing up here. So we'll get to that later. So I'm going to choose this because that's the one that I want to link to, and click Insert. Okay, so now let's go ahead and learn how to swap out an image and the linked image of the larger version. Let's just choose this guy. Click it to select it. As you can see, sometimes these will become disabled. So again, within that orange border, click somewhere out of there. As you can see, now they're enabled. Then you can click it. Sometimes if you click into a new cell and go directly to the content, it won't work. You have to kind of click within the cell first, then the content. Okay, so first thing we want to do is swap out the image. For the small images, we use the image button. And we get this new option that says change. When we were inserting this within a blank cell, that change button didn't show up because there was nothing to swap or change it to or from. But now that we do have something selected, we can change it. And let's go ahead and use Blaster Small for this example. It's selected still, so let's go ahead and link it to the larger version of Blaster. We'll use the change button still. Yeah, we're going to change that link to Blaster Large. There we go. And we'll just change the new caption text. Okay. The last thing I want to show you is how to add a new row. We have to use these buttons up here. As you can see, each row is considered like a group or a region. And you have to use these buttons up here. But sometimes it's a little tricky because they kind of like run away from you, if you will. A little tip that I use is if you click within a cell of the row that you want to duplicate, trash, or move up and down, just click in one of the cells, not to necessarily edit it, but just to pin these guys down. Go ahead and hit duplicate it, and as you can see, we added another identical row, and then you can just swap out the text. Alternatively, you can just add a blank new row. Let's go ahead and duplicate this row because we want to have an extra row for images, right? So we'll go ahead and hit duplicate. And the next thing that we need to do is reorder this. So I'm going to hit the down arrow to move this guy down and to move it down one more time. And now they're in the right order. And then we can swap out and change the pictures and the text, right? Okay, so there you are. You know how to edit your slideshow. We're almost done. Go ahead and hit save. We're done with in-context editing. Go ahead and click on here to go back to the admin console.